poses the
There it
biggest
goes.
challenge for us in terms of
My
frozen
YouTube didn't
pipes,
want to go at
bursting
first.
pipes that obviously then increase the consumption and tax our supply. Uh, so far, so good in terms of our ability to provide enough water for the city. It looks like people are home using water, but it's nothing highly unusual. We're running about 146 million gallons uh, from the East Bank, and then about maybe 12 to 13 on the West Bank. So it's steady and manageable so far. So we appreciate folks here heeding to not over running their faucets, not the excessive running of water obviously causes the biggest issue for us.
Have y'all had many calls relative to pipes bursting?
We have not. And again, the temperatures start dropping, overnight, and it takes a while. You need a long time for it to catch up. And I think, again, people are doing what they need to do, even though we haven't had a major snowstorm. We've had cold weather last handful of years, which kind of heightened awareness of what folks need to do to protect their own pipes, and they have been doing it. Again, evident by the uptick in consumption and just the minimal number of calls so far. So knock on wood that will stay that way. We track our numbers, and we have a couple more days ahead of us, obviously, of continued threat that we need to manage.
Yeah, it's all about temperature and it's all about water pressure at this point, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, back in 2018, I think before my tenure here, there was an overconsumption. People just ran their faucets way too much, and they just exhausted the supply, and we lost pressure. We just couldn't keep up. And I think, last, again, maybe 5 or so years, we've learned as a community to manage the situation better by having more controlled, spaghetti thin trickle in one of the faucets, farthest faucet in your house, and it seems to be helping.
Ghassan, a lot of the officials are saying they're really more concerned about tomorrow than today. I think at around midnight, the temperature is going to be about 25, and at 4 a.m., they're projecting 20 degrees, and that's not wind chill, that's actual temperature, and in the low 20s through tomorrow morning, all the way up till about 8 a.m., which that 8-hour period of time is going to be critical for us, right?
Absolutely. We're very concerned. And again, now because people are home, water is being used for multiple purposes. So, the threat of frozen pipes is low. The concern is when, people go to sleep, what happens in that, very critical 8 to 10 hours. That's why it's very important to find that one faucet and make sure that to run it. Again, we can't overemphasize spaghetti thin. You don't need to gush the water out, because all you need to keep that water moving in the pipes to prevent it from freezing. But yeah, you're right. The next overnight is going to be very critical, and obviously you need to watch for on your own property. Make sure that you're aware of a pipe bursting. And if that is the case, by now, hopefully everybody would have found their valve, the first access point to your house where water enters in. There's a main valve that you can shut off and contain that leak, and obviously call a plumber as soon as you can to rectify. From our perspective, obviously we're relying on folks to call us, call 52 Water, if they see a water main break in the roadway. That's what we're obviously focusing on. We need to attend to those as soon as possible, and we need obviously the eyes and ears of our customers to call us and alert us of such breaks. We haven't had many calls, and again, we suspect overnight may be very critical, and it's going to might bring us more, higher number of breaks. So tomorrow is going to be a challenging one.
We talked about temperature. Let's talk about pressure. What is the key element in keeping the system in balance for you guys?
So obviously it all starts with our ability to not only produce water but also pump it. So we had a small issue yesterday. We had to call a boil water advisory in very smaller parts, extremities of the city and the east side of the city. By the way, that boil water advisory has been lifted about a couple minutes ago. All samples came back negative, so we're good to go with that. So it starts with our ability to start with about 70 pounds per square inch, 70 psi, and just obviously supply the system throughout the city. And it's a balance. If we stay around 150 mgds during the night, the day tomorrow, we should be okay. The 15 to 20, maybe 15 in the West Bank. That's a good balance for us. Obviously, if it exceeds it, we're going to start, lacking in supply and matching the demand, and that's when you see the pressure drop. So again, it's all about. We're in good place. We have a lot of folks staged in the critical places to obviously optimize response time and if needed. So we stand very good and ready today. And again, it takes us doing our job, but it also takes folks at home not overreacting and not overrunning the water.
I guess one thing that helps the balance, right, is that the commercial draw on the system is probably minimal. Most places closed, right?
Yes, that definitely helps. Obviously, the tourism industry or space is low. Obviously, that's helping. But also a lot of people are home and cooking and doing laundry and such. So far we haven't seen a drop by any means. We've seen an uptick, so that means people are using water, which is good. And again, if we stay where we are today and people continue to do what they need to do judiciously, I think we should be fine.
Well, we certainly appreciate you joining us today and providing us with this information, and I am certain that we will be checking in with you guys over the next 24 hours. And stay safe, stay warm, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Ghassan Corbin, Executive Director of the New Orleans Sewage and Water Board, folks. We'll be right back. 504-260-1870 on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. Stay with us.
WWL, the Big 870 AM and 105.3 FM. Always live on the free Odyssey app. WWL is tracking the winter storm. Listen for the latest every hour and track the storm real time at WWL.com. Presented by Craig's Electrical and Generator Service. And remember, if you lose power, listen on your phone on the free Odyssey app. With you through it all, WWL.
Folks, now more than ever is the time to really visit New Orleans, because New Orleans is eternal. For hundreds of years, New Orleans has been an important global city, a critical international port city, and the creator of some of the world's best food, music, and traditions. And this city shines brightly and is a unique light in the minds and imaginations of people around the world. New Orleans is America. If you love culture, if you love America, you need to get yourself down to New Orleans. Come visit the French Quarter. Come listen to some live music and indulge in some of the best dining anywhere on the planet, bar none. And now more than ever is the best time to visit New Orleans, because the time to love New Orleans is right now. Plan your next business conference, family reunion, or vacation. Visit NewOrleans.com, because if you love New Orleans, she'll love you back. New Orleans, America's most intriguing city.
It's a new year. Aren't you ready to finally get the IRS off your back? Hi, I'm attorney Kerry Bryson with the Bryson Law Firm. We've helped so many people figure out their IRS issues, and they always tell us they wish they'd called us sooner. Friends, the IRS isn't going away. Matter of fact, they're ramping up their efforts. So now's the time to call the Bryson Law Firm and let us get between you and the IRS and make your life better. If you have wage levies, bank levies, tax liens, or unpaid taxes, call the Bryson Law Firm and let us get out in front of the IRS and devise your best resolution plan. IRS problems are legal problems, so call the Bryson Law Firm. We're local. Our headquarters are in Lafayette, and we have offices statewide. Or visit BrysonLawFirm.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm. The Bryson Law Firm. Results may vary. LSBA filing number LA2316155.
Wealth-changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring every aspect of your wealth works harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Hey, it's Tommy in an hour with Dr. Anand over at G&O Snoring and Sinus. Changed my life. It's been 9 years since my sinuplasty procedure and still no persistent stuffy nose, headaches, or sinus drips. G&O Snoring and Sinus accepts Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, and Medicare Advantage plans. If you have any problems with sleep apnea, sinus issues, snoring, or breathing in general, please go to G&O Snoring and Sinus and see how 1 hour can change your life. To learn more, go to gnosnoring.com. That's gnosnoring.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. Not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Back to continuing coverage of the winter storm on WWL, AMFM.com, and the free Odyssey app. With the latest, here's Team WWL.
Come back, folks. We are joined by Dave Cohen, WWL News Director, and Sheriff Joe Lopinto from Jefferson Parish. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Noel. How are y'all doing?
Doing well. Joe, we just got some alerts from NOLA Ready. Dave was looking at them, saying that there's been a number of accidents, more and more people heading to the streets. What has your experience been in Jefferson Parish?
We've not seen an increase. I got the same alert. I think they're putting it out statewide. Certainly, as the day gets through, you're going to have more people that venture out on the road. We want you to stay on the road, but we're not seeing a lot of traffic at all in Jefferson Parish right now. Most people are staying home. I'm really worried about tomorrow and actually even Thursday morning. I think you're going to have some melt that's going to come on tomorrow, which is going to put water on the road and then it'll refreeze tomorrow night, and I think you'll have a lot of ice. Right now it's kind of snow, and because it started snowing with the cold weather, you don't have a lot of ice on the roadway, but I think that's really changed tomorrow if I had to take a guess.
So, Dave, what exactly were we hearing from the EOC?
Yeah, they sent out the alert that says the number of accidents being reported is increasing. First responders urge you to stay off the roads in snow, ice, impacted areas until conditions improve. And the last thing we want, clearly, is to overburden our first responders and to make them unnecessarily have to venture out in this. Yeah, they have big vehicles. Yeah, they have fire trucks and ambulances. But when you get this much snow and you don't have salt and you don't have plows and you don't have any way to clear it, it doesn't matter what vehicle you're in and how much grip or how many tires you have pulling. When it's this slippery, if that whole thing starts sliding. So I think the key message is don't put anybody else in danger because you are tired of sitting at home or because you want to shoot a TikTok video to share on the internet with TikTok.
Joe, you shot your TikTok video yet?
I don't have TikTok, but certainly my son has been taking care of Snapchat and everything else between jumping out in the snow. And to go back on that, Noel, I mean, you and I both know as young policemen, if I had to go out and write an accident in this weather, I guarantee I'm writing a person every ticket I can in the book.
Yeah,
so,
I ain't
stay
happy.
home, stay off the streets
For
right
sure.
now.
This might be a little bit better than a driving rainstorm, but not much.
Not much, no. And so if you make me come out in this weather, you're going to get some tickets. And remind everybody if they do something really stupid and have to go to jail today, the judges aren't working until the end of the week. So you're not getting a bond anytime soon. So I'd stay out of trouble.
One deputy told me, if I have to go out in this, I'm going to end up in the ditch just like you. The difference is I'll have pretty lights on while I'm stuck in the ditch because I had to respond to you being stuck in the ditch because, we just don't have the infrastructure and the equipment to properly prepare roads. I mean, I know, up in Chicago right now, they have a negative 30 wind chill with snow on the ground, but they also have a huge infrastructure of plows and salting trucks and snow blowers and so on and so forth. We just don't have it here, and there's just no way to make these conditions safe for people to be out and about.
No, it's not. I mean, we were dealing with the airport, same thing, although there is some de-icing capabilities here at the airport. Most of the airlines actually don't have crews that have the ability to even utilize the de-icing equipment. So, I mean, everything was shut down today for us. We hope to get back up and up running tomorrow by midday, but you never know when it's going to actually shut back down again. But right now, it's certainly not safe to be on the roads, not safe to fly. Just enjoy it, take some pictures. As I said, I'm actually home cooking. I'm having gumbo for lunch, having a rump roast for dinner. I'm going to watch 10 inches of fat grow while I watch 10 inches of snow fall, so they're great.
Joe, are you hearing
direct correlation?
Yeah, exactly. Are you hearing anything about power outages in Jefferson?
No, I haven't gotten any alerts from EOC on that. I called a little while ago to check on accidents. I have not received any widespread, and normally I get an email on that, and I checked that right before I came on the air with you. So I don't really have any widespread outages. I'm sure you can have a few, but as I said earlier, with this wind pushing the snow off of the branches, it's less of a problem right now. It's when you have that heavy wet snow that's accumulating on the branches that break it, and this is really a fine dust. Although it's coming in a bunch of it, it's a fine dust that's being blown, so it's really not accumulating on your branches. And you look outside, you can see the same thing. It's more accumulation on the ground. So hopefully it stays like this, and we don't have the widespread power outages that we, hope to avoid.
Yeah, I just checked. Entergy, Louisiana now has less than 400 power outages statewide, and that's amazing because we had a literal blizzard in Acadiana this morning. Now we're getting whiteout conditions moving into greater New Orleans, and the fact that we didn't have the rain first, so we don't have ice on the power lines, and like you said, we don't have a lot of limbs even under this. We're closing in on 6 inches of snow across the region. We don't have a lot of limbs coming down on power lines, thank goodness, and that's pretty miraculous that statewide we have fewer than 400 outages.
Well, I'm surprised how hard
it's... I would definitely think the number would have been higher than that. That's great.
I'm surprised by how hard it's snowing right now because 20 minutes ago I could see the Four Seasons. And Dave, you're looking out the window over my shoulder. Yeah, you can't see the Four Seasons right now.
We're 2.5 blocks from it.
2.5 blocks.
You can't see the river at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I can barely make out the casino now, and we're just about a block away from Caesars. By the way, I'm told it's open.
Yeah.
That they put their own employees up in their own hotel. So we were talking about maybe going over there and getting a lucky dog after a while.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. Nothing else to eat around here. Joe, final thoughts?
Look, take pictures, enjoy it. Again, be safe over the next 2 days. Don't let the snow fall stopping. Encourage you to venture out. Those roads are still going to be unsafe, and the conditions aren't going to get better real soon for us. It's not like we have the ability to plow and get rid of these streets and get them done. Be patient. Most of the schools will certainly close today and most likely Thursday. Stay home. Stay warm.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We know you're busy. We get back to that gumbo.
And that rump roast.
And that rump roast. What time's the invitation?
Anytime this afternoon, if you can make it here.
If we start walking now, we might make it.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. All right, folks, we'll be right back. 504-260-1870 on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. Stay with us.
WWL, home of your New Orleans Saints. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Get the WWL shows you love delivered to your phone free. Download the Odyssey app and follow your favorites. Bobby Hebert, Mike Detillier, Steve Geller. Listen when you want, how you want. Or tell your smart speaker, play WWL. Breaking news about the Saints and LSU on WWL is powered by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today. WWL is proudly sponsored by Dudley DeBosier Injury Lawyers. Call 444-4444.
Non-attorney spokesperson, Chad Dudley, New Orleans.
My name is Hugh Lambert, nicknamed Skip. At the Lambert firm, we focus on the maritime world. Our clients are deckhands, engineers, roustabouts, roughnecks, crane operators, longshoremen, or any one of a number of titles working offshore, inland waterways, or on the river. A maritime worker's rights depends on analyzing legal and factual issues. We're experienced at doing just that to maximize our clients' recovery. Please Google us at Lambert, Zaney, Smith & Soso or LambertZaney.com. Be safe out there.
LA 18-0969.
Make Boomtown New Orleans your game day headquarters this season. Watch all the games on their giant screen TVs. Tackle the area's best game day food and beverages with all your friends. Get in on all the hockey and football action this winter with PenPlay and ESPN Bet. Boomtown's online sportsbook, now live in Louisiana. Score big this season at Boomtown New Orleans, however you want to play. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Warning, you are under live video surveillance by Alarm Protection Services. You have been detected. Leave the site immediately.
Kuda Cat here with the next generation in protection. ProVisual by APS. Every 30 seconds, a burglary happens. With ProVisual by APS's new technology, we can detect what's happening as it unfolds, preventing the crime and false alarms. Trust your safety with a name you know, APS. And now ProVisual by APS. Learn more at securitybyAPS.com or call 504-455-5277.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 475-2323.
LA 16-7908.
Flow Resources, complete employer solutions. FlowResources.com.
Weight loss injections now available at Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
When you're still looking for love, Valentine's Day sucks. Every restaurant is fully booked. Suddenly all chocolates are heart-shaped and all the PDA. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older-adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's continuing coverage of the winter storm on WWL, Louisiana's official emergency management station. With the latest, here's Team WWL.
Welcome back, folks, for our continuing coverage of the winter storm. We call it a historic event. It's nothing to this guy sitting across from me, Dave Cohen, WWL News Director. He's actually grew up in Chicago, right?
Yeah, there's a difference between a Yankee and a damn Yankee. A Yankee comes to visit and goes home. I'm a damn Yankee because I left Chicago when I was 18, and I moved to the South, and I've been in New Orleans now close to 30 years. This is one of the reasons I don't live there anymore, though.
Yeah.
is, I don't want to deal with this garbage. And they have the infrastructure to support it there. Here they don't.
What was the temperature you said today?
It was my daughter just moved up there, and the wind chill was minus 30 at 7 a.m.
The coldest I've ever been was on Michigan Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I was up there, the Miracle Mile. I was up there when we were building our radio system because it's in Schaumburg, right outside of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in the 80s. And, of course, this knucklehead goes up there with a trench coat. And the guy that we were going to dinner the first night I was there, and he goes, "What is that?" I said, "That's my coat." He goes, "You're going to be up here for 10 days? That's like wearing toilet paper up here."
Yes.
And he's right. And we walked a block down Michigan Avenue, and I thought my bones were going to crack. I was so cold.
Yeah, well, that water's coming off that frozen
and
Michigan.
He said, "Follow me." We went to, what is it, Feline's Basement, a discount place to get a wool coat. I'd never owned a wool coat in my life. And he goes, "You're going to need this, and you're going to need that scarf, and you're going to need a hat, because you will not survive."
No, you would not. And the cold here is worse. I'll take 10 degrees in the Midwest before I'll take 30 degrees in New Orleans. It's just a colder, wetter. You can't, no matter how many layers you put on here, once it gets down below freezing in New Orleans, there's nothing you can do to warm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But you know, it's interesting up there, that wind that comes off the lake. I mean, I don't know what the average lake temperature is, but it's not warm. It's cold.
No, in the summer it gets up to a balmy 68.
Right.
You know, the Gulf is 90.
Yeah.
So,
you know, so when that wind comes off, especially coming north, right straight down the Miracle Mile, it's enough to kill you.
Well, this time of year it's probably about 33 degrees. I mean, there's actually ice, and a lot of it's freezing over. So.
Yeah.
So Entergy, again, and none of the outages, I told you there were less than 400 outages, none of them are here in southeast Louisiana. So that is the one saving grace, if there is one right now. It's that so far we have no outages here in southeast Louisiana as a result of this winter weather that's moving through. So that's encouraging. For sure. The city just did tell us that the warming center they opened has filled to capacity. So the city of New Orleans is opening a second warming center now. The Tremay Center at 900 North Villeray, if anyone needs to get out of the cold, is available for people who need to find a warm place. That's 900 North Villeray, the Tremay Center, if you need a dry and warm place.
And I got to imagine those numbers are going to increase, because tomorrow's going to be even colder.
Yes.
Really by as much as almost 10 degrees during parts of the day tomorrow, right?
Yes. Okay, and I do need to update. We just got 1,600 power outages in St. Charles Parish. So we have seen a big jump there. Working to find out what has caused that. One of the main concerns at this point is not only the weight of snow on limbs coming down or trees coming down as a result of the weight of the snow, but anyone out there driving around and sliding into utility poles and taking out parts of the grid. But we'll find out what is going on in St. Charles Parish, where we have 1,600 outages now reported.
What, so you see the snow here. How would you describe that? I mean, it's not like snow flakes.
No, it's a really smaller crystal that is falling now, and it's very unique because it's somewhere between sleet and snow is what I would describe, because if you haven't been out in it, when that wind is blowing and those snow particles hit you, I mean, they're solid.
Yeah.
They hurt in these big wind gusts that we're seeing now. So no, it's not the light, fluffy snow that movies are made of, that people are kissing in and dancing.
It would seem to me that if it was the bigger flake that was falling at the rate that this is falling, that the accumulation would be
even greater,
quicker and faster.
Yeah, because for anyone who's ever gone to Colorado, for example, to go skiing, you know that the fluffier, lighter snow is what is deeper and accumulates more quickly. It's the powder that everyone wants. This is not powdery snow. And that's part of the problem, because this is a very insulating snow. And what's going to happen tonight is the ground is going to be so covered in the snow that's going to be so compacted that the radiational warming from the Earth is not going to be able to affect. We're essentially inside of an ice chest now.
Mm-hmm.
We're surrounded on the bottom by this insulated, really tightly packed, icy snow, and then it's still falling from the sky. So the temperatures tonight, I know they're saying that the wind chills are going to be in the single digits, but now there's the threat, particularly on the North Shore, that we could see actual temperatures dip into the single digits, teens south of the lake. And that's why it's so important that everyone take those precautions to keep one faucet furthest from their water main coming into the house dripping tonight, because this is one of the hardest freezes I can remember here, and I've been here almost 30 years. You've been here longer.
It's been a long time since we had a multiple day below freezing temperatures event, right?
And this cold. I mean, you have to, for a pipe bursting freeze, typically you have to be below 26 degrees for at least 4 hours. We're going to be well below that for far longer than that.
Yeah. And I think most everyone, the consensus is thus far is that tomorrow's going to be the real challenge, even though the sun's supposed to come out.
Yeah, and if we do briefly get above freezing, that could make it even worse, because if the snow starts melting and then refreezes overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday, then we could have a real problem. And it's kind of funny, you hear people, some of our guests have done it too. I'm not sure anyone really knows what day it is anymore.
Yeah.
Because the days kind of run together. So we're just Tuesday now.
Yeah.
Just for the record, it's just Tuesday, and officials are saying you pretty much better get ready to sit tight until Thursday. So not tomorrow, Wednesday, can you go to work, go to school, go run your errands, but not till Thursday is what they're thinking.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see. It's coming down hard out there, though, and as we said, we cannot see the Four Seasons from here. And once if it snows too much harder here, we're not going to be able to see the casino either, which we can just barely see an outline of it at the present time.
Yeah, it's kind of neat, though, to see the palm trees completely covered in the snow. It's like the commercials for the Christmas palm trees, but they're for real right now here on Poitras Street.
No doubt. We'll be right back, folks. We'll visit with Hans Gonthier, Field Operations Chief for the NOPD, when we return. Stay with us.
Continuing coverage of the winter storm on 870 AM WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, an Odyssey station.
WWL First News. It's 1 o'clock. I'm Chris Miller. The snow keeps coming down.
Happy snow day. The forecast for Tuesday includes snow on both sides of Lake Pontchartrain into the afternoon, ending right after sunset. Accumulations will be between 3 and 6 inches on the South Shore, 4 to 8, possibly 5 to 10 on the North Shore. Overnight tonight, we'll see that snowpack on the ground stay firm. It will be a small window for melting Wednesday, with travel impacts likely until Thursday.
WWL TV meteorologist Brooke Laser tells us we won't really thaw out until later in the week. Her forecast is coming up. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry says snow has been falling across the state at a rate of up to 2 inches per hour.
Enjoy the scenery today, but understand what's coming when the sun goes down and the bitter cold comes in for the next 24 hours. If they can just hunker down for another 24 to 36 hours, I think we're going to be in great shape.
Entergy reports more than 1,600 outages in St. Charles Parish. With temperatures forecast to remain below freezing, pipes shift in focus. Any wanting to ward off the costly repairs, here's what you can do to help protect pipes in your home if you didn't get them wrapped ahead of time.
Pipes R Us owner Danny Griffin says it's not too late to prepare.
Preparation is key. It's something that you want to make sure you get done. Is wrapping your pipes, running your water.
And if you're going to be outside playing with the kids, you can get that done. However, here's something you may not want to know. Danny says it can get too cold for anything to work.
It drops down to below 20. Unfortunately, not much can melt.
So far, our temperatures are forecasted to be lower degrees. Courtney P., WWL First News.
Not many people are venturing out as the snowstorm continues pounding the area, but for some, just another day at the office. WWL's Ian Ozan tells us it helps to have some snow experience to weather this storm.
This is something else.
Samuel Peary is the chef at the King Brasserie on Chapatula Street. As a native of Lake Tahoe, California, going to work in the snow is nothing new to him. Still, today's historic snowfall comes as a shock.
We were very used to getting some awesome snow-filled winters, and this is very, very unexpected. This is amazing.
While the show must go on, Peary says his employer is making sure that he and his colleagues are all safe.
Graciously enough, the hotel had all of us stay over last night, and we'll be doing the same tonight.
Ian Ozan, WWL First News.
And get used to it. New Orleans Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness Director Colin Arnold told WWL's Newell Norman the sub-freezing temperatures will keep snow on the ground and ice on the roads into Thursday.
The temperatures are not really going to come above freezing for the next day and a half, and so what you see on the ground is going to stay on the ground.
Arnold says driving tomorrow will be just as challenging as it is today. And he says just because you've spent some time up north driving in these conditions, those are areas that have snow plows and road salt to better prepare the roads for drivers. New Orleans does not. Jefferson Parish President Cynthia Lee Shang says rather than be put out by the inconvenience, just get out and have fun with it.
I hope everybody enjoys the day. People have been showing me and texting me beautiful pictures with their family out there and selfies in the snow. Let's just enjoy this. It can last another day or so if that's what it is to get us all through safely. We can do this.
CBS News Brief. The former leader of the Proud Boys and the founder of the Oath Keepers have been released from prison. CBS's Scott McFarland says they were among the 1,500 Capitol rioters who were granted pardons or commutations by President Trump.
The pardoned include those who committed violent acts on January 6th, including those who gassed, clubbed, and maimed police officers, and those who stole and destroyed property here at the Capitol.
Machiavellian is Illuminati all through your body. The blows well gauge shot it.
A Nevada judge has upheld the murder charge against the only suspect in the 1996 shooting of rapper Tupac Shakur. Wayne Davis claims he reached immunity agreements with authorities years ago, but prosecutors have found no evidence of those deals. The last surviving member of the band has died. Garth Hudson played piano, keyboards, and horns. He was 87. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
On Wall Street, the Dow up 464 points, the Nasdaq up 147, S&P 500 up 51, oil down $1.78 at $76.10 a barrel.
WWL Sports is brought to you by People's Health. Aaron Glenn's visiting the Jets today, and the team will be trying not to let him leave New York without agreeing to be their next head coach. That means the Saints would miss out on the Lions defensive coordinator, but the Cajun Cannon feels the black and gold can do better.
Aaron Glenn's defenses have ranked 29th, dead last, 32nd, 19th, and then scoring defenses, they've been 1 before last, 31st, 28th, and 23rd defensively.
The Saints reportedly have in-person interviews set up this week with Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, along with Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, and are working on talking to former Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. Steve Geller, WWL Sports.
The weather is next. WWL News Time 105.
Seagulls serenading as the sun sets on the lake. And the best local seafood you'll find anywhere. The Blue Crab Restaurant Oyster Ball brings it all back. Fresh salty oysters on the half shell, stuffed flounder, seafood platters, and other New Orleans favorites. And now the new banquet room is open for private parties and events. Let's toast the sunset and feel the lake breeze, just like old times. The Blue Crab Restaurant and Oyster Ball on Lakeshore Drive, where West End meets the lake. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesdays through Sundays.
One of the most common injuries resulting from a car accident is a back injury. Just last week, it happened to you. Take it seriously. Get the help you need right now. Demand Dudley DeBosier. Call 444-4444.
Chad Dudley, Baton Rouge, LA 2416605.
Dramatization.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. Get the savings you want on America's largest 5G network. Visit T-Mobile.com/choice55 and start saving today.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Happy snow day, a historical one on both sides of Lake Pontchartrain this January 21st. We are still accumulating a lot of snow. It's only just beginning. Temperatures will remain at or below the freezing mark consistently, and that allows for the snowpack on the ground to linger well into the overnight time frame and Wednesday as well. Our wind chills even colder in the teens and 20s, so make sure you're bundling up as you head outside to play in these rare conditions. Multiple layers, hand warmers, toe warmers, your beanies, your scarves, the whole nine. We'll continue with the forecast for the rest of this week, gradually warming into the weekend, but travel impacts are likely through even Thursday morning. From WWL Louisiana, I'm meteorologist Brooke Lather.
27 degrees, heavy snow at the airport in Kenner, snow and 27 north of the lake. I'm Chris Miller, WWL First News.
On WWL, AMFM.com, and the Aussie app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. It's continuing coverage of the winter storm. Presented by Craig's Electrical and Generator Service. When the power goes out, Craig's comes on. Connect anytime on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870. Back to Team WWL.
Welcome back, folks, for our continuing coverage of the winter storm, a historic event here in New Orleans. You know, just about 10 minutes ago, Dave Cohen and I were talking, and we said that we could barely see Caesars outside from our window. It's snowing harder now than it was even then 10 minutes ago. Ain't there no more. Can't see it. It's really coming down hard. Just talked to a couple of guys here from WWL that walked over for lunch at the casino, and they said, we're 2 blocks. They were like, it's a trek when you're walking facing that wind that's coming across, and he said, I'm not so sure I'm going to do that again. So a lot of challenges here on many different fronts, and we are joined by Hans Gantier, Field Operations Chief for the NOPD. Hans, welcome to the show. Chief, are you there? Does he have us on mute, maybe? Or? All right, we're trying to hook up with Chief Hans Gantier, the Field Operations Chief of the NOPD. They were talking. We got him? All right, Chief, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having us.
So, Chief, a lot of challenges out there this morning. When I was driving in to WWL, I was really encouraged. I saw probably about 10 cars, 7 of which were NOPD vehicles, and all the barricades were out. Looked like the deployment went well.
Well, yes, we were prepared. We actually were staffed at 100% as of yesterday in preparation for this. We didn't want to have people trying to drive in this weather and then be shorthanded. We did have a call with DODT and Louisiana State Police around 10 p.m. last night, or actually almost 10 p.m. last night, and they indicated they might want to close the roads at somewhere around 2 to 4. So we were prepared to deal with that, and we were able to start our closures around 4 a.m., so that really helped us.
So we were just talking earlier, WWL News Director Dave Cohen, Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and myself, we kind of saw the NOLA Ready alert about accidents being on the increase. Seems as though people are getting a little stir-crazy earlier than normal.
Yeah, we saw that as well. Our message is still the same. Stay home. Don't try to go out in this weather because not many New Orleans or surrounding parishes are used to driving in this type of weather. And it is a different kind of driving. People who feel they have the vehicles to do this try to do it. And, of course, the best thing in this weather is to slow down and try not to apply your brakes suddenly. So we do keep on messaging that. Stay home. Try not to go out unless, you absolutely have an emergency. But I would not try to go out in this weather.
So Chief Kirkpatrick sent out the message that she was ready to shut these streets down to make sure, that things stayed safe. Most of the folks that we talked to today are saying today's not really the challenge. It's going to be tomorrow when we have this long period of low 20-degree weather and iced over roads will be a big challenge. Your thoughts?
That's absolutely correct. It's worse because underneath the snow will freeze because of the precipitation, and the weather, the temperatures are really expected to be in the 20s, and that causes, of course, ice underneath the snow, where you may think it's just, powdery snow when you're hitting ice. So that is going to be a challenge, and we're going to keep our closures in place until we've been told by the National Weather Service whether this is melting or it's going down as far as the temperature rising, and also this ice is melting. So that is something we still ask people to still stay home and don't run around in their vehicles out here unless it's an emergency and only an emergency. I would not recommend just coming out and looking out to see what it looks like. It's a very dangerous situation, and it causes officers to be put in a dangerous predicament to try to go help people.
Absolutely. I know it's always a challenge to get your workforce in these types of conditions. This is kind of a different perspective than with a hurricane, right? You got the calm before the storm. Everyone hunkers down for the storm, and then everyone kind of reappears. That's not how this one's working out, is it?
It's like frozen.
It's not. This was a message that we sent out to our district captains and all our captains to make sure their people try to stay. We're not gonna want to have them driving back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. This is really, as we ask the public to do something, we want to follow that principle as well. We don't want them driving back in this weather, so we'll tell them to hunker down at the stations, and/or if they can't, we'll find them a place to be at another station that has plenty of rooms. We have cots from hurricanes, and we have the ability to hunker down if we have to. So we're asking that they do that as well.
Yeah. Any other particular challenges that y'all are recognizing?
Well, as the weather gets worse, we can't man all the on-ramps that we do place these barricades on. People are, for some reason, feel that they have to get on. They move the barricades, and people think that those roads are open. So our challenge is to maintain those closures. We're having our officers, very limited few, but safely as possible, go around and make sure the closures are still in place, and no one has moved those barricades to think that the road is open. So that's one of our biggest challenges that we're seeing. As you see an increase in accidents, it may not necessarily be in the interstate, but also people just driving around on the roadway. So we have so far, the Crescent City is open one lane. DODT is actually putting salt down, but the level of snow that's coming down, I don't think they can maintain it for long. So we would ask the same question: stay off those bridges and stay off the roads.
So, Chief, you're not telling me that there are actually people out there that believe that these barricades are for everyone else, but not them, right?
We see that all the time. You can have barricades up, and for some reason it says not for me.
It's amazing, right? That's an invitation for them to get on the interstate, not to stay off the interstate.
Yeah, we see that a lot.
After 40 years, enforcement always mystified me as to the thought process of individuals when, these things are closed for a reason, and not for me, for everyone else, but not for me.
Yeah, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. And that's what we want to tell people. You see a barricade there, it's there for a reason.
So, Chief, I had asked this of Colin Arnold when I talked yesterday. I was always kind of curious about communications, and I understand that the radio system's working great. It's nice to have it tested in a snowstorm, but we'd like the snowstorm to go away once we've actually tested it, right?
Yes, we would. So far, our comms have been real great, and we're able, we have the ability, obviously, from being the sheriff of Jefferson Parish, that we can communicate with our various partners, state police, other jurisdictions, and we're able to work through any problems we have. Our communication's been great. Obviously, we got out that message that we're going to close the roads at 4 a.m. really quickly, and we were able to get it to the 10 p.m. news, and that was, after a 25-minute call, and we started implementing. Obviously, our radios are important to us, but also the communication that we're having.
I guess it's reasonable to assume that the interstate system will be closed tomorrow as well, because the consensus is that the conditions will probably be more dangerous tomorrow than they actually are today.
I would assume that is the case. So far, we do not plan on opening it. Right, that is going to be a DODT call, but we will support them in whatever call they make. However, it is looking like this is an event that's going to go through tomorrow, at least until these temperatures rise, because then, we just talked about it, we're going to have freezing snow and freezing ice, and, it's not a good thing to drive in that. But we'll take our lead from the DODT and the state police as well, and we'll collaborate.
Mardi Gras isn't just about parades. It's
later this evening.
It's interesting. I got a text that said, "Are police officers trained to drive in the snow?" I don't know about you, Chief, but I can answer this from my experience. No, because it never happens here. So, yeah.
That's correct. I'm lucky to have been, raised in the East, and so I'm familiar with driving in the snow. However, it occurred to me, as Chief Kirkpatrick told me yesterday, that, our officers aren't used to driving in this, and I was like, yeah, you're right. She recommended maybe we find an empty lot and kind of get them during, in between calls and see if they can maneuver in the snow, learn how it affects their vehicle and what their vehicle can do. So, yeah, that's one of the things we pushed out, and hopefully they were able to do that. But our main thing is, again, the same to tell the public: drive slowly, don't hit the brakes hard, and take your time getting somewhere.
I think a lot of your units are all-wheel drive units. I remember the old rear-wheel drive police units. They were deadly when you had ice.
Yeah. Our newer vehicles are all-wheel drive, thank God, and we actually sent out a video on how to work it in the snow and which buttons to press. We actually sent them an OPDR for that, and so they're all aware of it right now. I don't think a lot of people realize they have dysfunction, but we had our management services bureau sent that out so that everybody's aware. Hey, you have dysfunction, but you can hit this button and it'll work, in the snow.
Yeah.
So
it actually works. So it's good.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Chief?
Really, thank you for having us on. Keep in mind that we will be pushing out information. Keep an eye on the news. Our public information officers will be putting things out in the news as soon as we can get them. Working closely with our Emergency Operations Center, LSP, and our neighboring parishes and the DODT, and we're going to push some of this information out. I realize people are wondering when they can start heading back, but right now it's hunkered down to at least after tomorrow and see what happens then. But that's our message.
Stay safe, stay warm, Chief. We really appreciate it. Chief Hans Gontier, Field Operations, NOPD. We will be right back, folks. 504-260-1870 on the Oakwood Heart Jewelers talk and text line. Stay with us.
WWL, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers. Always live on the free Odyssey app. We're tracking the winter storm. Stay informed with WWL and get real-time updates at WWL.com. Presented by Craig's Electrical and Generator Service. And download the Odyssey app, so if you lose power, you can stay connected to WWL.
No football? No problem. The Greater New Orleans Boat and RV Show on Friday, January 31st through Sunday, February 2nd at the Pontchartrain Center in Killer. Hundreds of boats under one roof. Register to win a free Magic Tilt trailer and over 100,000 square feet of RVs, travel trailers, and fifth wheels. Get 50% off new fifth wheels. Travel trailers for $8 a day. Free parking and shuttle. There's something for everyone at the Greater New Orleans Boat and RV Show.
What? We can fix that.
Yeah, this is
Tom, brake light, we can fix that too.
Have a warning light on? We can fix that at Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. We're your one-stop automotive shop. So when it comes to batteries, engines, brakes, and tire rotations, we can fix that. And, oh yes, we're really good at oil changes too. Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, the New Orleans auto pros that keep you on the go.
We can fix that.
For Mardi Gras supplies, head to Jefferson Variety Stores, specializing in specialty beads, throw beads, trinkets, bows, masks, hats, and plenty more at Jefferson Variety Stores. Open 7 days a week. Visit them at 239 Iris Avenue in Old Jefferson or online at jeffersonvariety.com.
Throw your phones up, throw your phones up. There's a number you gotta dial. 444 the number you gotta dial. Throw your phones up.
Chad W. Dunridge, L24-16373. Paid Jingle Signal.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1